Okay, myself K. Venkateshwara, and I am working as assistant professor in Allan Subbareddy Engineering College. Okay, today our topic is de Broglie hypothesis and the equation for de Broglie wavelength. That we will see first de Broglie hypothesis. Right? De Broglie's hypothesis, right? It means what he assumed, de Broglie. In the year 1924, he developed a concept that is dual nature of the matter. Before that, or according to the Newtonian mechanics, the particles differ and waves differ. And whatever we can say, the tiny particles like electrons, according to classical mechanics, right? So those are the tiny particles, that's why they could not explain about the behavior of particles. What is classical mechanics, right? And according to the classical mechanics, if you know two factors, that is two characteristics of one particle, third is exactly you can find out third particle, but according to quantum mechanics, we could not find out accuracy in both parameters at a time. Right? That will come into the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So before that, in this de Broglie hypothesis, for example, if you take an electron, right, actual electron is a tiny particle, but according to quantum mechanics, electron possesses wave nature. Right, like if you take light, right, we can say light rays, nothing but electromagnetic waves. That is nothing but a wave. But according to the quantum mechanics, we can treat the light rays as particles. It means particles can possess wave nature, right? Wave can possess particle nature. That is duality of the matter. It means according to the de Broglie, particle can possess the wave nature, wave can possess particle nature. This is called dual nature of the matter, right? So in the 1924, he explained this dual nature. And he applied this, or he assumed, by assuming dual nature, he found matter waves. Right? It means matter waves are nothing but the waves associated with moving particles. The waves associated with moving particles are known as matter waves. Right? We will see the wavelength for these matter waves. Right? For that, first, according to Max Planck, energy of particle E is equal to hν. Energy of particle E is equal to hν, right? Where h is Planck's constant and mu is the frequency. Right? Okay, it means we can find out the particle energy by taking the help of equation E is equal to hν. Right? Okay? And another one, we can get the energy for a wave E is equal to hν, where mu is frequency. Frequency is one of the characteristics of particle, wave. Right? Now, according to Einstein, the energy of particle is E is equal to mc². This is equation number 2, where m is mass and c is velocity of light in the vacuum. Right? So, matter waves are nothing but the waves associated with moving particles. It means consisting of particle as well as wave. That's why you can say matter can exist in both the natures, particle nature and wave nature. Right? This is called the dual nature of matter waves. That was assumption of the de Broglie. And also by taking that assumption, finally he derived expression for the wavelength of particle or wavelength of the electron associated with the some acceleration or accelerate some potential difference. For that, he has taken the stations of Max Planck as well as Albert Einstein. According to Max Planck, E is equal to hν. where h is Planck's constant news frequency, and according to Einstein is equal to mc square, where m is mass of the particle, c is velocity of light. Right? According to him, both can, it means wave can possess particle nature, particle can possess wave nature. That's why both are equal. By equating about two equations, right, we got h nu is equal to mc square. Right? What is nu here? Frequency. The relation between frequency and wavelength as h. C by lambda is equal to mc square, where the frequency is inversely proportional to wavelength. Where c is constant. Nu is equal to c by lambda. That's why we got this equation. And on both sides we are having velocity of light. So here c and here square get cancel. Then we have h by lambda is equal to mc. H by lambda is equal to mc. Where h is Planck's constant, lambda is wavelength, and m is mass, c is velocity of light. For this, right, h by lambda is equal to mc. But we know that, or simply lambda is equal to cross multiplication. Lambda is equal to h by mc. For example, if you take a particle, then velocity, nothing but velocity of the particle, say v. Lambda is equal to h by mv. In the place of c, we are writing v. Because of v is particle, velocity c is velocity of light in vacuum. So this is one equation. Right? This equation is said to be wavelength equation. This is called de Broglie's wavelength. De Broglie's wavelength. Right? And we know that the product of mass and velocity gives momentum. That's why lambda is equal to h by p. This is another equation. Right? This is equation number 3 and this is 4. And the relation between momentum and kinetic energy. Momentum and kinetic energy. When it is under motion, it possesses velocity. That's why then momentum is p. Then momentum, when it is under motion, it can possess kinetic energy. Right? So that's why the relation between kinetic energy and momentum as kinetic energy k is equal to p square by 2m. We know how we are getting this one. That's why here from this p square is equal to 2m into kinetic energy k. Now square of momentum is, right, now momentum p is equal to under root 2m k. Under root 2m k. We are substituting this p value in the equation number 4. Then we are getting lambda is equal to h by root over 2m into k. This is another equation, say 5. So now we got expressions for wavelength in terms of the momentum, right? In terms of mass, in terms of momentum, in terms of kinetic energy. And we can get these electrons by accelerating them with some potential difference. That's for example, if you apply some voltage V across some metal, then we can generate the electrons. Right? Now, when we apply some potential difference V, then electrons are generated. Right? Then lambda is equal to h by root over 2m e v. Why we are writing means here the energy of the electron whenever it is under motion by accelerating some potential difference v, then kinetic energy of electron is nothing but the product of charge of electron and potential difference. This is potential difference. Whereas in equation number 3, that is velocity, right? In this equation here, this is potential difference. That's why by substituting these values, we are getting h by 2m root over 2m v. Right? Here h is Planck's constant, m is mass of electron, e is charge of electron, and we know those values like h is equal to Planck's constant 6.625 to 10 power minus 34. Right? M is mass of electron 9.1 into 10 power minus 31. E charge of electron, that is 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. By substituting all those values, finally we are getting lambda is equal to 12.27 by root 3 angstroms. That is lambda is equal to 12.27 by root 3, where V is potential difference. This is another equation, set 6. So in this de Broglie hypothesis, De Broglie assumed that particle can possess wave nature, wave can possess particle nature, and by taking suggestion of Max Planck and Einstein, which are suitable for the energies of wave and particle, by combining those two equations, finally he got expressions for wavelength. Right? This is about the de Broglie hypothesis. Thank you.